Ladies and gentlemen, the American Cheering Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Bulldog Show. We're going to have a great show today. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Law, Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of our platforms. In addition, we got a major announcement coming up. We'll do a separate show on it. Well, yesterday, there were a lot of hearings before the United States Senate. There was a hearing in front of the United States Senate relative to Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland was present, and he got grilled. And I would like to begin with the grilling of Merrick Garland by Chuck Grassley as it relates to Hunter Biden. It is off the charts, I mean off the charts, that Hunter Biden, the information that's come to Senator Chuck Grassley, whistleblowers from within the FBI, this just blows me away. Why does Hunter Biden, of course we know the answer, but why does Hunter Biden get away with everything? Everything. This guy is an international criminal. This guy could play the bad guy in a James Bond movie. I mean, he's an international grifter with his father and his uncle. We know it. We know it. Nothing. Then we had Ted Cruz grilling Merrick Garland as it related to the United States Supreme Court protection. And, you know, Merrick Garland just sits there, Then we had the grilling of Merrick Garland by Senator Hawley relative to how he went after these pro-life groups and these pro-life individuals, raiding Houck's home with his whole family present. But he doesn't do anything when there's a bombing of a pro-life facility. I mean, it's truly amazing. Merrick Garland is a gangster. He's not the head of the Justice Department, he's the Attorney General. He's a full-blown political gangster with Joe Biden. He's on the Joe Biden team. I mean, it's truly, and I don't know how you don't get mad about it. I get mad about it. I mean, we're supposed to just nonchalantly not care that our Attorney General is a crook. He is. You know, Lori Lightfoot, day after, it took her one day. She didn't lose because of the terrible job she did as mayor and all the murders and all the crime. No. She says, it's because I'm a black woman. No, it's not, Lori Lightfoot, because you're a black woman. Typical, isn't it? Typical. Buckhead has proceeded a little further down the line. This is the Atlanta suburb that wants to break away because they want to get the hell out of the crime-infested world that they're currently in. Good luck to them. More Justice Department. Brett Baer interviewed Christopher Wray talking about the different double standards as it related to the Mar-a-Lago raid and the Joe Biden raid. And this guy, this Bushy, just sits there for straight, oh yeah, we have the same principle, we do it the same way. But these politicians just say the same crap, and they expect us all to buy it over and over and over again. It's unbelievable. Then we have China. China has warned Elon Musk to not speak out about the Wuhan lab issue. Good old Tesla has a lot of investment in China. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The folks in Portland are saying, like, Portland itself is like a shell city. It's so bad, everybody's left. It's a shell city. Who are we going to hold politically responsible for this? Who? Somebody has to, right? Then we got Joe Biden, the biggest gangster drug cartel man in the world, laughing about a mother who loses 2 children to fentanyl, and he laughs it off. Look at it. I mean, he just makes you, don't you just loathe this guy? He's a terrible human being. Laughs it off and says, that happened under Trump. Then we have Murdaugh. There was a site visit and closing arguments. I just want everybody to know that Murdaugh's guilty as hell. And I believe he's going to be found guilty. He testified pretty good, but that's not going to save him from the evidence and the. I mean, who would kill these 2 people besides Murdaugh? Here's something interesting. They said he lied right after, like, where he was because he was in this opiate weird state. Well, wouldn't you kill your wife and your son if you're in an opiate weird state? Then we got TikTok. Congress is going to let Joe Biden ban TikTok from the country if he wants to. What do you think Joe's going to do? We have a president who is completely compromised by China. Completely. The Communist Party. Who would have ever thunk? This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next is Bulldogtv, the local news. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldogtv Local News. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Law, PAYCHECK. Check us out on all of our platforms. Our lead story. After the tragic East Palestine train derailment last month, the Ohio House has responded. Always responding. That's what politicians do. They respond. They react. Lawmakers passed a rail safety bill that addresses several issues cited from the accident. The proposed changes include a more immediate warning system and requiring a two-person crew. We'll see if it makes any difference, folks. All right, the Claremont County Sheriff is shedding some light on the four-person murder-suicide on Monday. Officials believe Mother Teresa Kane shot and killed 3 members of her family before killing herself. A 20-year-old member of the family survived the shooting and is currently in critical condition. Why not just shoot yourself? The Westchester Township trustees have agreed to pay $28,000 to Eric Lindsay. Lindsay filed a lawsuit after he felt he was racially profiled for a shoplifting call to a Meijer store. Lindsay, who is black, did not match the description of a white man who committed the crime but is still detained. In local news, UC students were not happy to hear the Bearcat statue that sits in front of the Fifth Third Arena was going into storage for 2 years. Why? The statue was scheduled to be moved on March 6th for construction on a new indoor practice facility. Over 2,000 students signed a petition. The university agreed to wait until after graduation on May 1st to move it. Leave the statue alone. A new Covington program will focus on enhancing the look and function of the city through 12 new landmarks. The landmarks consist of murals, custom benches, and other creative treatments placed throughout the city. Each of the 12 sites were granted between $1,000 and $30,000 to create their proposed vision. Tax dollars for that? Kentucky State News. 2 new bills are being introduced that would expand gun accessibility in Kentucky. One of the proposed laws would allow the age of eligibility to 18 instead of 21 to receive a concealed carry license. You got the right to carry it, period. The other bill addresses where the weapon can be carried, such as a government building. Like we don't need guns in government buildings. Kentucky is set to receive $117 million through the U.S. Treasury to provide money for small businesses across the state. The funding will benefit venture capital programs, loan support programs, and community financial institutions. In Ohio State news, the Ohio Supreme Court is deciding if commuters should have been taxed during the 2020 pandemic. Some claim that taxes should have been enforced if a worker was working at their home. State lawmakers allowed for local governments to continue the tax despite the worker not commuting to the city. Senator J.D. Vance is calling for a Paycheck Protection Program type plan to help those affected in East Palestine. Vance has called for an increased attention to toxic train derailment that has affected workers and businesses. Many senators have expressed it may be too early for determination. By the way, the Inquirer yesterday did a story in the middle. And what they were clearly doing was trying to make the East Palestine story like it shouldn't be political. Why? Because it doesn't politically help the Democrats. Cracks me up. And in sports, a couple of tri-state athletes will be front and center for the NFL Combine this week. Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud and Kentucky cornerback Will Levis will garner a lot of attention. Bryce Young, I don't think he's going to go. All right, coming up next, Jamie Spindley in World News.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. Today's top stories. One of Greece's worst ever rail disaster, which has claimed at least 43 lives, was due to traffic human error. The local train station master has been charged with manslaughter. The Greek transport minister has resigned. The leaders of China and Belarus have expressed their extreme interest in a peaceful resolution in Ukraine. It's about time. Power has largely been restored in Argentina after more than half the country was left without electricity for several hours. More than 20 million people were affected. The blackout is believed to have been caused by fires in open fields near power grids close to the capital city of Buenos Aires. Aboriginal spears taken by the British explorer Captain James Cook and his landing party when they first arrived in Australia in 1770 will be returned to the local Sydney clan. And in sports, Grimsby Town caused a huge upset in the FA Cup 5th round win at Southampton. Sheffield United beat Tottenham Hotspur at Bramall Lane. Wins for Manchester United and Burnley, who all head into the quarter-finals. Until tomorrow, take care. Cheerio.